Hey guys, this is Kevin Hill here. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to create this really quick video for you guys on why putting on virtual events could be a huge game changer for you right now. Right now, we're going through some weird stuff right now with this whole coronavirus thing, and nobody really knows when actual live events are going to happen anytime soon. So that's why it's important to learn how to do these virtual events so you can still get in front of your target audience, get more customers or clients or patients, and also get the build authority and credibility that comes along with putting on a virtual event. So this short video is going to kind of give you some tips on how to put on your virtual event, not just including naming your virtual event, which is very important. Also, the amount of content to put in your event as well. That's very, very critical. So I think you're going to get a lot out of this. So throughout this presentation, one of the things that kind of bugs me about when people do these PowerPoints is that you can't really see them. You just kind of hear a voice. So that's why I wanted to make sure that you guys can see me actually talk to you guys. So you'll see me in the little corner down there. Okay, so like I said before, we're going to be talking about how to create the irresistible hook and big promise for your event. This is like the biggest part of putting on a virtual event, because if you don't have that hook that's going to like get people in to really build desire to get them to join your virtual event, then all the marketing you're doing, all the promotion, all the work getting the techie stuff going, it's really not going to work out. You're really not going to get a lot of people to show up. Also, the big promise, the hook and the big promise is kind of goes hand in hand in a way. But we're going to go deep into that in a bit. Also, the types of products and services you can sell on your virtual event. So you're going to discover that you don't have to sell like $300,000 or $30,000 masterminds to make virtual events work for you. I'm going to cover you can either sell a $500 product, $1,000 products. You can also do strategy sessions as well if you're a service-based business and your business is dependent on getting the sales calls, sales appointments, discovery calls, and that sort of thing. Also, I'm going to cover the correct content pitch ratio you need to maximize revenue for your events without taking people off. So this is kind of interesting because people who put on events, they really struggle with what's the right amount of content to give away, what's the right amount of content to give away without taking people off, thinking that it's just going to be a pitch fest, right? Because everybody's afraid of going to an event and it's just a bunch of pitching, right? You don't want to have that, because if you just have people pitching on your event, then you're going to take a lot of people off. But you also want to maximize revenue as well, right? You want to get that revenue. You want to have sales presentations and offers as part of your event. So I've been doing this for a very, very long time, not just promoting events like this, but also coming up with presentations, not just for myself, but my clients that hire me to do this. So I'll give you some good insight for that. Also, how putting on a virtual event can give you an unfair advantage over your competitors. Obviously, I'm going to cover that a little bit, but it's kind of self-explanatory. Virtual events basically give you more visibility in your space, in your niche. Also, it gives you the opportunity to sell in front of many people all at once instead of just one-to-one selling, and you can do it all virtually too. You don't even have to leave your office or leave your home. So that's why this is going to be very, very critical for you. Okay, so I know the virtual events, what does that mean, right? Because that can be interpreted many ways. So I'm talking about, there are many, many different virtual events. So there are 1-hour webinars and trainings. These are the most common. These are the ones that you see advertised on Facebook. These are the ones that are promoted a lot on people's lists, like, hey, come join my training on how to go fly fishing or something like that. These are the most common. But then there are also the 3 to 4 hour live stream events. So these are basically events where multiple speakers come on and present maybe like 15 or 20 minutes of material. And there are also offers interspersed throughout the event. either just one, maybe either multiple offers or one offer. Usually it's one offer, but these aren't very common, to be honest. These are usually happen during product launches, kind of like Jeff Walker type product launches, if you guys are familiar with Jeff Walker. Okay, and then there are also the 2 to 3 hour, actually that should be a day, 2 to 3 day mega events. So these are the basically events where it's just, it starts off in the morning, goes all the way to the evening, and then same thing happens the second day, same thing happens the third day. These are like basically huge events. And there's a lot of content that's given during these events, but there's also a lot of selling too, a lot of pitching that happens to get people to take action and to buy from you, basically. Also to get good content as well. We don't want to forget about that. So that should say day. So, all right. So the problem with virtual events right now is because of what's going on in the world with this pandemic, and with the fact that nobody is putting on actual live events right now because of what's going on in the world. Everybody's doing virtual events, and so it's a lot of, the problem is that some are decent, right? I mean, I'm a lot like you. I'm on a lot of people's lists, and there's a lot of virtual events that are being pitched. Some are decent, some aren't that great. Either the angle isn't that good, or I had a buddy of mine who he put on a virtual event, and nobody really showed up. And there are a lot of facets to promoting virtual events, and I can tell that, hey, I told him like, hey, the angle kind of sucked. It wasn't that great. You probably didn't send out enough emails to get people to join the event. But the biggest thing was the angle. So it's really easy to kind of screw up virtual events if you don't know what you're doing, to be honest. Because for example, you can have a really, really good hook and angle to your event, but if you don't have the traffic coming to the event, people signing up, maybe the sales page kind of sucks, it's not going to happen. And so there's a lot of facets that happens when it comes to putting on virtual events. Okay, so some of the things you have to nail in your event, have to get, is you have to have a really good angle and hook or title. This is something I'm going to cover a little bit later on in this training. You also have to have the right content pitch mix, which I'm going to cover. You have to get virtual butts and seats. That's kind of what I call it. And you also have to learn how to monetize your event, even after it ends. Like, obviously, a lot of the sales happen during the event, but if you're putting on a 1 hour event, a lot of the sales can happen after the event, because people, on average, maybe, you can get a lot of people to sign up for your event, but on average, maybe like 20 or 30% will actually show up for the live event. So that's why you want to have that replay, send out a couple of replays and have some follow-up to catch people who may not have showed up for the actual event, but they consumed, they can see your offer after you present the event, or after you presented the event, and then they can buy your offers. So yeah, that's these are like kind of the 4 facets that you have to have in order to nail your virtual event. Okay, so a little bit about me. So I've been writing copy for events for 13 years. This is the obligatory credibility slide to show you guys I know what I'm talking about. Work with some of the greats: Russell, Dan Kennedy, GKIC, Clayton Makepeace hired me for some copy, and Agora Financial hired me to write copy for 2 of their events. Harry Dent, some of you guys might be familiar with Harry Dent. He's like a real famous economist. I wrote copy for 2 of his events. So a lot of event copy going on. Obviously, Dan, Clayton, Russell, a lot of event copy. Put on a lot of events, virtual events, in-person events. Speaking of which, when it's possible to put on virtual events or actual live events. Correct myself. Actual live events where people can actually show up and actually come into a room. All of these lessons, what you're learning in this presentation, is applicable. So just keep that in mind. But I'm just kind of speaking to what's going on right now because that's impossible, basically. Okay, so I mean, I've probably written copy for over 100 events. It's impossible to know, right? I mean, 100, 200, don't really know, but it's a lot of events. Not just physical events, but also virtual events. So I know the common sticking points. I know the common pitfalls of putting on virtual events. It's not something that you just kind of throw up and be like, okay, throw up a squeeze page or a landing page and hope people show up. Kind of like the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. That sort of thing. A lot has to go into it. Okay, so like I said, kind of talked about this earlier, but they're a great way to boost sales and bond with your target prospects and customers. They also give you authority and clout over your competition because not a lot of people really do live events, but they're kind of intimidating in a way, especially the virtual ones. You have to deal with a lot of techie stuff, and it's a lot of people don't really know that perfect mix of like, hey, how much content should I give, how much should I pitch, what kind of content. And for a lot of business owners, they just don't even bother. They're like, okay, well, this is just too complicated. I'm just gonna write a sales page, or I'm going to just rely on email or another marketing technique or tactics in order to get customers. So, but when you nail these things, boy, they're really, really profitable. So, I mean, if you think about all the people who, all the gurus that right? I'm not going to go. I work for a lot of the gurus like Dan Kennedy, Russell. They all run events. And think about gurus in your own industry. They all run virtual events. They ran a lot of live events when things were a little better in the world, but they also run a lot of virtual events, like a lot of webinars, a lot of online events. So this is a very, very critical tool for you to have. For example, one of my clients runs a seven-figure business and does the usual marketing tactics, right? Everybody teaches that you got to build an email list. You got to send out emails, get a sales page, follow up, nurture your prospects, upsell your current customers onto higher, more expensive products. The usual things, right? But he gets his best results, and we get the best results because I work with him when we get people on a virtual event. I mean, there's something magical about getting people on a event where they carved out time in their schedule. They can see you presenting. They and then if it's a live event, they can kind of interact with you. I know that this particular client, he likes to do Q&A to people ask him questions. He answers the questions and that sort of thing. They can also chat with each other as well. So we've, at least in this particular business, which is in the coaching industry, the biggest results come when either during our product launches or when we're doing just one-off promos, like a weekend promo, or whenever we do a virtual, or when we launch a new product, right? We always do virtual events. That's when we get the biggest sales or the most sales. So now you're probably wondering, like, okay, I know everybody's going virtual, right? Everybody's going because we can't have actual physical events, right? So are virtual events as effective as far as sales and as far as like people showing up as in-person events? So that's actually a big question and kind of a big objection to why people don't put on these events. But I'll just share with you some of the results that I've got from one of the client I spoke about before. So he just finished up his virtual event, had 400 plus people sign up for the virtual event. It was a 3-day event. And he's used to having, and he's someone who puts on a lot of physical events. We usually have like 3 or 4 events during the typical year, but obviously things have changed. So now we're switched over to virtual. And so we still made $600,000 in revenue from that event. Now keep in mind, that's not from ticket sales to the event. We charge $99 to show up for the event, and you don't have to charge that much. Maybe just keep it, charge it free, keep it free. But That's mostly from the selling the products, the high-end masterminds, the group coaching in the event. So you can see they do work, right? If you do them right, they definitely work. So if you're thinking like, okay, well, who's going to get on, a virtual events as profitable as getting people into a physical room and getting them, in a hotel room or something like that? Yes, they are. These are the numbers that he usually does when he does actual physical events. So he had more people show up. And I will say this, is that the 400 people that did show up, we averaged about maybe 300, 250 people on the event at the same time. Obviously, one of the downfalls of one of the things about doing a virtual event is that people can come in, they can watch whenever they want to, they can go to the bathroom if they want, or take a coaching call, or do something different for go for a run or something like that, or go for a drive, and come back like 2 or 3 hours later. So that gives people that option. But you can see that, hey, he was able to still do very well even though his event was virtual. So the number one ingredient you really have to have in your virtual event is you need to have a big promise. What transformation will your prospect get from the event? This is something you really, really have to nail. So what's like the big result? For example, in the coaching industry, one for the previous the event that I was talking about, the big promise for the event was how to get coaching clients. Right, that's like a big pain point for people who are starting a coaching business. Personal, when I speak of coaching, I'm talking about like life coaching, business coaching, that sort of thing. Not like sports coaching, like being a football coach or something like that. I just want to clarify that. So it's really, really helpful if your virtual event gives people a result, a tangible result. Like we're going to have a system where you can get more clients, or you're going to get your ex back, or you're going to learn how to lose weight, or the 4 pillars to losing weight, so you can get that summer bikini by the summer or something like that. So there has to be like a big promise. So examples, well, I just kind of covered most of these. Some examples of big promises is how to create an online program, how to get your ex back, how to write Facebook ads. So let's say somebody who wants to advertise on Facebook, they're just having a hard time getting things to convert, which a lot of people who run Facebook run ads are going to go through. But if you have a big promise that, hey, I'm going to show you how to write Facebook ads so you can go and feel confident doing Facebook advertising on Facebook. I'm going to include templates and formulas you can use to create your own Facebook ads. To somebody who is having trouble running their own ads, getting people to engage with them on Facebook, that could be a pretty big deal. Also, close more clients. So think about the big promise for your event. What's the big result they're going to get when they complete your event? A lot of people who promote events, they just talk about like, these are the 4 or 5 bullets you're going to discover and that sort of thing. But your event has to have like a big promise. Okay, so this is the next thing that's really critical. Naming your virtual event. It means everything, because that's what's going to like jump out at your target prospect and get them to say, hey, I want to do that. I want that. I want to join that event, or I want to sign up for it. So just several examples of what's in a name. An 11-step system to writing a sales letter in under 2 hours. So that was actually my title of my event that I gave a while back. That's kind of a big promise, right? How to write a sales letter in under 2 hours. It's actually a true promise. I've written sales letters in under 2 hours many times, usually under extreme duress, under tight deadlines. So I've definitely done it. 3 secrets to get started in coaching fast. How to grow a list by thousands without spending a penny on ads. So this was the fourth bullet, the how to grow a list by thousands. That was a affiliate promotion I was hired to do for a client, and his product is how to put on virtual summits, so, which is a little different than virtual events. Virtual summits is when you get like 30, 40 people to show up and give like a presentation, and then how to monetize it and that sort of thing. So that's a cool title because, I mean, let's face it, we're all bombarded by everybody tells us that, well, if you really want to grow your business, then you gotta spend money on Facebook, you gotta spend money on Google, you gotta get out there and spend money on advertising. But then you have a title of an event that says, hey, you can do this, grow your list by thousands without having to do that, right? So that's going to pique a lot of people's interest. And then there's some other ones here, like virtual event mastery. That sounds familiar. I'll be talking about that later. Business success mastery, webinars that sell, next level business live, CopyCon. That's actually my own event. I came up with that name. So this is just examples of cool names that you can kind of use to get ideas for your own naming your own events. The big thing that I think is common with all of these is there are a lot of specifics in it, especially the first three bullets. The first three titles: 11 Step, 3 Secrets, How to Grow a List by Thousands. They're like specifics. Now, these three are mostly for webinars, like 1 hour webinars. And I should probably clarify that. 1 hour webinars, you want to have specifics, big promise, something that's going to get people like, oh, I want to do that. For the larger events, like the 2 to 3 day events, maybe a little more broad, like virtual event mastery, business success mastery, something that's may not have like the specific result like in under 2 hours and that sort of thing, but it does hint at a result that the prospect wants. All right. Okay, now this is something that's going to could be a really big game changer for you guys. So the infamous content pitch tightrope you really have to balance. So what I've seen work over and over again is to have 80% content, 20% pitch. 80% content could be, when you do 80% content, it has to be your best stuff. Like one of the things that holds a lot of people back is that they think, oh, I don't want to give all of my best stuff away, and then they'll take it and use it. I wouldn't worry about that, because the one thing you have to remember is that when you give away your best stuff, you're basically demonstrating to your prospect that you know what you're talking about, that you can get, and then it shows them that, hey, you can get them this result. And then they're going to want to work with you, right? They're just going to build desire to work with you. They're going to want to join your product programs. They're going to want to join your masterminds. So that's just huge. So 80% content, 20% pitch. The pitching can be, like I said, masterminds, your like high ticket products, also low ticket products as well, like $500 products, $200 products. My product that I sold on stage was a $500 product. So there's a huge range there that you can work with. And like I said, you want to over deliver with content to demonstrate your stuff. So don't hold back, right? Don't hold back. But the key is, now this is huge, is that your event has to create a new problem in their lives. Okay. So let me explain this. So let's say that it's a business, like the event is targeting dentists, right? The event's going to target dentists that want to get more patients and more high value patients. So the 2 to 3 day event is basically teaches how dentists can do outreach, can market their dental office so that they can get these patients. So the dentist comes in with a problem, right? How to get more patients. He leaves with a blueprint on how to get more patients. and it's an actionable blueprint. He can go and take this and put this to action. But now he has a new problem. The problem is that one, he doesn't have time to do it. He may be too busy, or maybe he has some questions about. Maybe he's thinking to himself like, "Oh gosh, how I don't have time to implement this, right? I don't have the staff to implement this," which happens a lot when people come to events. Is that they come home with 15 or 20 pages of notes, but there's no way they're going to actually implement it, if at all. Usually they'll implement everything for 2 weeks and then things will kind of trail off. So that's the new problem, is that, okay, how am I going to implement this when I'm busy, and how am I going to do this without, undergoing trial and error, get fast results? That's when your high ticket products and programs come in, is that's going to solve that problem, right? Your masterminds, your coaching programs, your high ticket programs, they're going to allow that dentist to implement those programs or implement what you teach faster with so they could get faster results, basically. So I hope that makes sense, is that the event needs to over deliver with content, make the prospect feel like, oh, happy that they came to the event, but at the same time, it gives them a new problem in their lives. And of course, the products that you actually pitch to help them get them faster results, to help them, get, the one-on-one training or one-on-one help to help them implement faster, that, or like a mastermind, that sort of thing. That's when it's going to solve that new problem. Okay. All right. So what to pitch during your virtual event? Like I said before, there's a wide range of products you can pitch. High ticket products, I probably wouldn't call a $500 high ticket product. I think anything of about $2,000 to $5,000 could be a high ticket product. High end coaching programs and masterminds from $10,000 to, I've seen some programs go up to $125,000. In fact, my coaching client, he has a $250,000 mastermind program. Imagine that. That's just crazy. Also, you can also use a virtual event to get signups for a strategy or discovery session. Okay, so this is huge because a lot of people think that, okay, I can't put on a virtual event because I don't have a high ticket product, I don't have an info product or a mastermind to sell people into, or a coaching program or anything like that. So why even bother? No, you don't need high ticket products or a bunch of high ticket programs for this to work for you. You can just get people to sign up for a strategy session with you, right? So, or a discovery session. Basically, the goal of the strategy session or discovery session is to get people on the phone with them and kind of sell them on your service, right? It's kind of a lower barrier of entry for the prospect. So no, you don't have to have these huge products and tons of products you can offer or expensive mastermind. So you can just do a simple strategy session, right? Okay, so just some examples of virtual events. I will say this: virtual events are really tailored more for like an info business. Lots of that, but at the same time, a lot of different people, a lot of different industries can use virtual events or run these virtual events. So, for example, if you're a lawyer, you can have a simple event to your list. Like 7 ways to get maximum dollars for your injury claim. If you're an injury lawyer, for example, basically you're demonstrating knowledge on the virtual event. People can see you speak and they can hear you speak versus just getting things in the mail or emails, which can be kind of impersonal sometimes. Also, if you're in e-commerce, let's say you sell physical products, right? So let's say you sell a weight loss supplement. So one example of a virtual event is 5 secrets to a slim, sexy body this summer. So you're going to attract people who are interested in getting that result, and then you can teach them 5 ways for them to lose weight, and then you can kind of transition into selling your product. Basically, just say something like, "Hey, hey, if you really want to get fast results, then you want to try my weight loss supplement." So those are some examples of, and I encourage you to think about your own industry. If you're a lawyer, if you're a chiropractor, chiropractors could put on a lot of awesome virtual events, get people to sign up and get people to sign up for their programs or their treatments. So a lot of things you could do for virtual events. I encourage you to think about your specific industry and how you can leverage virtual events during this crazy time to get more customers, clients, and patients. Okay, so you might be thinking, okay, Kevin, I'm just starting out here, right? I don't have a big list. Nobody really knows who I am. I don't even know, not even sure if I'm a good presenter or I can do this, right? So virtual events are a really, really great way to get a really strong foothold in your niche. Like I said before, there's something really cool about getting people on a virtual event. They've taken time off to watch you present. They're interested in your topic, and then it positions you as an expert, right? I mean, I'm probably going to sound like a broken record, but it's getting on people on a virtual event and being there, talking about a topic, presenting, and also helping people live if you choose to have people do Q&A with you. That's like really, really huge. So even if you're just starting out, virtual events are going to help you because it's going to attract the right people to you. You're going to give people. And another thing I'm going to say is that virtual events, people just love coming to virtual events. That's the last thing, or not the last thing, but one thing I want to say. And that's why you see them everywhere, right? You see people on Facebook promoting them. You see, you get on people's lists. There's usually an event that's happening. That's just because they work. And so I encourage you, if you're just starting out in business, whatever business that is, make sure you make virtual events a really, really critical piece of your marketing arsenal. So, okay, so like I said, putting on virtual events is one of the most powerful tools you'll ever have in your arsenal. And I hope this really short training give you some good insight, some good aha moments. I kind of like to use that term for your business. So if you like my help, obviously, hopefully you learned a lot from this presentation. If you like my help, I've been doing this for 14 years. I've been, like I said, not just putting on my own events, but also helping other really, really high-level people put on their own events. Not just the copy, but also coming up with the presentations, kind of choreographing the event. Like, okay, which slot should we do content? Which slot should we, or what time slot should we pitch our mastermind? That sort of thing. That's something I've done so many times. So I encourage you to join Virtual Event Mastery. So there's a button below where you can go check it out, but I'll just give you a quick overview. So it's a 4-week training on how to put on virtual events of many, many types, from 1 hour like webinars to 3 to 4 hour live streams where you have multiple guests, and also the big kahuna, the 2 to 3 day huge virtual events. You can even go 4 days. I've seen some 4-day events. So it's a 4-week training, so very, very short. Go through it really quick. I'm also going to share with you, and this is something a lot of people don't do, is I'm going to give you all of the winning promotions that I've written for physical and virtual events, so you can kind of borrow, swipe, deploy for your own events. This can save you a lot of time trying to figure out, okay, how do I write the copy for my event? How do I position my offer? How do I, come up with, the copy basically to get people to your event? Obviously, you don't want to start with a blank slate when you do this. So that's why I think this is going to be very, very helpful for you. You're also going to get copyright-free templates for sales pages, emails, and direct mail. These are things that you can easily adjust for your own business. It's going to save you a lot of time. And like I said, copyright-free. just kind of tweak things, tweak things that pertain to your business, like benefits, clothes, and that sort of thing. The clothes. So that's really, really huge. It's going to save you a lot of time. And obviously, during the entire training, I'm also going to give you so let me back up. So the 4-week training, it's a live training, 4 live trainings. They're going to take place over every week. And those 4 trainings are going to be live, so that you can ask me questions during or either during or after the training if you have a question. And plus, I'm also going to give you guys email support. So you can email me anytime if you have a question about anything. For example, maybe you weren't able to make one of the calls, but you still want to ask a question. You'll have the ability to do that when you attend the training. So that's my pitch, basically. So you could click on the button below. You can read more about it. It goes in the price and that sort of thing. The cool part is that you can split your price up into payments to kind of help you with budget. And I look forward to helping you guys out. Like I said, virtual events are huge. I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and I look forward to helping you put on your own virtual event. Take care.